In the back corner of a luxurious five-star restaurant, amidst the clinking of silverware and murmurs of wealthy guests, stood a girl named Sarah, 21 years old, wearing a stained apron, hands pruned from hours in dishwater, and eyes that carried dreams no one had time to see. She was a dishwasher, invisible to the world that dined just beyond the swinging kitchen doors. But that night, the night of the engagement party of billionaire Daniel Morrison, everything changed. Daniel had planned the grandest proposal ever. His bride-to-be, Vanessa, a socialite with a taste for diamonds and drama, sat at a candlelit table, expecting a surprise. The plan was simple: a velvet ring box hidden inside a rich chocolate mousse cake. The waiter would bring the dessert. Vanessa would dig in, and the ring would glisten beneath the layers. Perfect. Except the cake went missing. Where's the engagement dessert? The manager yelled. Panic spread. Waiters searched the kitchen. Chef argued, until someone pointed at Sarah, quietly finishing a piece of leftover cake. Did you eat the dessert from table 7? Sarah paused, lips trembling. It was just a leftover. I didn't know it was special. Daniel burst into the kitchen, fuming. That cake had a $20,000 ring in it. Sarah froze. The world spun around her. Everyone stared, mocking, whispering. I didn't know, she stammered. You liar, Daniel shouted. You just wanted the ring. You thought you'd sell it, didn't you? No, I swear I didn't know. Get an X-ray, he barked. Let's see where the ring went. Tears streamed down her face as she was escorted to a hospital. The X-ray was humiliating. The result? The ring was indeed inside her. Sarah was devastated, fired on the spot, ridiculed on social media. A poor dishwasher girl who ate a diamond. The story went viral. #RingThiefGirl trended. Daniel's proposal night was ruined. Vanessa dumped him the next day, saying, "You value your ego more than people." Weeks passed. Sarah didn't leave her small shared apartment. She felt like trash. The whole world had laughed at her. But one evening, something sparked in her. A memory. As a child, she had loved dancing. She would spin barefoot in her grandmother's kitchen, dreaming of stages, lights, and applause. Life had taken that from her, or maybe she had let it go. No more. She began working double shifts in a nearby cafe, saved every penny, and then quietly, she enrolled in a beginner's dance class. Her classmates wore Lululemon. She wore thrift store tights. But when the music started, none of that mattered. She was free. Every movement whispered, "I am not what happened to me." 3 months later, the restaurant where it all began was hosting a charity gala. Daniel Morrison, still licking his wounds from public backlash, had organized it to give back. Sarah, now waiting tables at a different place, was hired, temporarily, to serve at the gala. She didn't want to go, but something in her said, "Face it, don't run." The night sparkled with chandeliers, suits, and champagne. And there he was, Daniel, the same man who had humiliated her, now sipping wine and smiling at cameras. When he saw her, he froze. "You!" he blinked. She nodded silently and walked away. Later that night, a guest didn't show up for a ballroom performance. The organizer panicked. "We need anyone, to fill in for the waltz showcase." The manager glanced at Sarah. "You dance, don't you?" Sarah hesitated. The room was filled with elites. But then she remembered all those nights in front of the mirror. The humiliation. The fight. The fire. She stepped onto the floor. The music began. She moved with grace, elegance, strength, like a girl who had rebuilt herself from broken glass. The room went silent. Phone stopped recording. All eyes locked on her. Even Daniel. He whispered his friend, "That's the girl who ate the ring." But now she looked like a princess. When the music stopped, thunderous applause erupted. Sarah smiled, not because they clapped, but because she had danced anyway. Daniel approached her during the closing hour. "You were amazing." She nodded, wiping sweat from her brow. "Thanks. I want to apologize. For that night. For what I said. For everything." She looked at him. "Why?" "Because now I look like I belong." He flinched. You judge me without knowing anything, she continued. You saw a dishwasher, not a person. You're right, he whispered. And you're more than I ever imagined. I was always more, she replied. You just never looked past my apron. He offered her a job at his new performing arts center. Said they needed a teacher. Someone who could inspire underprivileged kids. Sarah laughed softly. A few months ago, I wasn't good enough to serve your dessert. And now, he said gently, you're the only one good enough to lead this. 6 months later, Sarah stood on the stage of the newly built Hope Arts Academy. Behind her stood 50 kids, all from broken homes, foster care, orphanages. And when she raised her arms to start the dance, they followed. Because now, Sarah wasn't just a dishwasher. She was a dream igniter. One day, a little girl in her class asked, Miss Sarah, is it true you once had a wedding ring? Sarah chuckled. Yes, I did. Were you scared? Terrified? What happened then? I danced my way out of it. Glowing star moral of the story. In a world obsessed with image, wealth, and status, remember, sparkles your worth isn't in what you wear, where you work, or what mistake you've made. Sparkles is in your courage to rise, to fight, and to believe you're more than what they say you are. Sarah swallowed more than a ring that night. She swallowed the pain, the mockery, the rejection, and she turned it into a stage. If this story inspired you, leave a red heart in the comments and tell us, have you ever been judged by your appearance or your job? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful real-life stories. Because sometimes the poorest girl ends up with the richest spirit.